Good evening and welcome to Penn State Sports Night. I'm your host, John Keenan. Alongside me is Lexy Leidlein and Tom Johnston. Tonight we will be discussing the fantastic early start to the Penn State men's hockey season and how it will look for them in the coming weeks. So guys, starting off, a sweep this weekend. Of course, fantastic start. What were your major takeaways and what did you guys like from the team this weekend?
Well, Lexi, personally, my first takeaway is Peyton Jones. He's bailed this team out numerous times last year, and he showed up again this time in the first series, and he bailed Penn State out again. I mean, you look at that second game, Sacred Heart was, getting a little bit better at Penn State, but he ultimately bailed them out like he always has. And last season, Jones allowed 104 goals and recorded 942 saves. He's shown that momentum. It's like Guy Godowski has said, he's bailed them out constantly. He's done it again. Evan Barrett is a guy that has shown that he is ready to lead this top line. And this top line of Barrett, Folks, and Limoges, they're going to lead Penn State again. 135 points combined last year. They're basically the top line coming back, a bunch of seniors together. They're going to show this crisp Penn State offense, and they're going to lead it into the Big Ten and hopefully, go on to the Frozen Four and such. But the biggest come out of this series was Peyton Jones securing his 60th win and head coach Guy Godowski securing his 300th victory as head coach. I think those two milestones help bolster this team in more ways than one.
I completely agree with you. Peyton Jones was a real savior this weekend. The team was looking a little sloppy in the first half of the first game. Peyton was right there, Guy Godowski said, to save the team when Sacred Heart was, trying to capitalize on those mistakes. One player that I thought was a huge breakout star this weekend, Cole Holtz, a defender scoring 4 goals. That's the first time a defender has had a hat trick in program history. So I think that's something we should really look at. That's amazing, and I think we can see more of him in the coming games to score more goals like that, to be a very good player. Also, Connor McEachran, freshman, scored his first goal of the season as a Nittany Lion, along with Arnie Telviti, suffered a season-ending injury before even the beginning of the season last year, so wasn't able to play at all. Scored his first goal this series, so I think we can look forward to a lot more coming from all of these players especially.
Great points. Another takeaway though, Penn State playing without one of their powerhouses, Nikita Pavlov. How did you guys say that the Nittany Lions performed without their powerhouse defender?
Me personally, I think Nikita is unstoppable. He's 6'7", 225. He scored 14 goals last season as a defender. That's more than anybody scored last season as a defender. Nobody was close. I think the closest was Cole Holtz with 6 goals. So I think they did have a little trouble without him because he is such a presence on the ice. He did suffer an injury in the offseason, so they did not play him in Ottawa or this series. I'm not sure about the coming series against Fairbanks, but hopefully we'll see more of him, and I really think he'll bring that momentum to the team to solidify their identity as Penn State hockey in the future.
I totally agree. Pavlov, he's one of those hard defensemen that really is the nitty-gritty guy, goes in to make all those hard hits and win those wall battles and those puck-to-puck battles that you need a strong defenseman to win. And he's shown that he can do that. And for him to be out right now, it's hurting, but Cole Holtz is starting to show that he's learning from Pavlov, and he's trying to show that he can use what Pavlov has taught him to really bolster this team right now while Pavlov is out.
Completely agree.
And the last point, following the impressive sweep, of course, Sacred Heart this weekend, and the upcoming battle against University of Alaska and Fairbanks, how do you think this will prepare the Lions for the upcoming Big Ten battles that they will have in the future?
Well, I personally think of it as this. These not so good teams, it's hard to judge because they're not as highly competitive as, say, the teams like the Wisconsin Badgers, Ohio States, the Michigans in the Big Ten, even the Minnesota. So it's like, to think that this is going to help them, I would honestly say that maybe the Robert Morris series and going into Wisconsin will. But at the end of the day, it's tough to say that this will help them. It will just give them a leisure of what they need to work on heading into Big Ten conference play.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is the time, I think, where they really find out who they are, since these teams aren't really the ones that they're focusing on for the season. Like he said, the Michigans, the Ohio States, especially the Notre Dames, with that sad Big Ten and NCAA tournament loss at the end of the season, they really were beaten down, and they have a chip on their shoulder, and they really want to solidify this team early so that when these Big Ten series matchups come, they are prepared. They're ready to go with these new freshmen, with the transfers. They're really ready and can take on any opponent that faces them.
Such great points, you guys. It'll be a very exciting season, and we're all ready to watch. Well, that's it for us here at Penn State Sports Night. For Lexy Leidlein and Tom Johnston, I'm John Keenan, and we hope to see you next time, and have a great night.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.